Basically, my name's Ethan, but as you know probably by now, I go by Mondo. I'm a college student here at Purdue University. I'm a junior in professional flight. However, I love music. It's really something I hold dear to me, and I fell in love with EDM music 7 years ago, and I really liked it. So I was like, hey, how could I get in this a little bit more? And I looked into DJing, and my career kind of took off from there, and that's sort of how Mondo started really early off.
What made you decide to start in the music industry?
I started DJing freshman year, and I started to kind of get into the underground scene in Indianapolis, which is where I'm from, and some people were really generous to kind of bring me in and teach me a little bit more about DJing and help progress my skills, and I really liked where it was going, so I put a lot more time and effort and, well, unfortunately money into it, but it's definitely paid off in the time being.
So now taking a look back on all that, what would you say is your proudest moment?
Proudest moment would actually probably be starting Mondo. I mean, I know you're going for an entrepreneurship certificate, and I'm really big into, stepping and thinking outside the box and doing something you want to do, and being creative. And, there's a lot of artists in the industry, and I call them cookie cutter artists, and I don't say they're sellouts, but they if you look at each one, they all seem the same. But if you look at people like Skrillex, or there's some other artists, they're not cookie cutter artists, as I say. They do their own thing. They encourage originality, and that's something I really want to go for with Mondo. I was DJ. Try not to laugh. I was DJ Five Right and Chardonnay before before I picked up Mondo, and it was fun while it lasted, but I wanted to take things to a whole new level, and Mondo is actually kind of a loose translation from the word monde in French, which means the world. Mondo also in the dictionary means something big, new, on a global scale, something new, unique, and that's really what I strive for in my music, and in the shows I put on. That's something I really pride myself on.
So what advice would you give to college students who are interested in becoming entrepreneurs?
Honestly, becoming an entrepreneur is probably one of the best things anyone could do. I don't care what field you're in. Aviation, engineering, nursing. Heck, you could be an art major. There's so many things in this world, and so many bright minds with so many great ideas. And all you need to sit down. All you need to do is sit down at a table with a ball of clay, or maybe a piece of paper, and figure out what you want to do. And I think really having that thought process and taking it from inside your head and taking it and making it a reality is something that's very special that you don't see a lot in this world. And I think everyone should pursue something if they really want to do it, especially entrepreneurship type stuff.
In starting Mondo, what obstacles did you face and how did you overcome them?
Time definitely was a big factor. In order to be good at something, you got to put a lot of time. If you want to start a business, it's a lot of blood, tears, and sweat. It's a lot of late nights, and that's definitely what Mondo's been for me. But it's totally been worth it. So definitely, time's been one of the biggest issues.
So, with all the time that you put into it, how would you define your success in Mondo?
When you're a DJ in today's world, you're a publicist, you're a graphic designer, you're a promoter. There's so many things outside of actually working on music and being a DJ these days. You're really trying to sell yourself to people, and that's definitely been one of the biggest challenges. But so far, Alex Freelis, my manager, has been a great help, and he's definitely helped cover the more logistical side of things, and it really helps me kind of free up some of my time and helps me focus on the music a little bit more. And honestly, our end product definitely shows that, especially since I started DJing. It's definitely improved tenfold. Once I've gotten some help and gotten someone who actually knows what they're doing in that position.
You said that there's a lot of other DJs in the area. How would you say that you keep a competitive edge over them?
people put in a lot of time into this art and craft. So, there's bound to be competition. Sometimes, and there's a whole industry, the entertainment industry. I think there was a study that, the EDM industry grossed over, I think it was like $5 billion in revenue last year on a worldwide front. So, there's a lot of money definitely to be made in the industry. But, locally speaking, we like to help each other a lot out as much as possible, in various events, supporting each other. But, there's obviously going to be some hostility, some conflicting points of view, and you just kind of have to work around it and either find a compromise or just not work with them, so.
Do you have to out-promote them, or?
Yeah, and I mean, that's when I talk about thinking outside the box, I've actually kind of teamed up with my artist team, and me and Alex actually hit the drawing board this summer about what could we do, coming back to campus this year to take Mondo to a whole new level. And brand recognition is a really big thing. If you're being an entrepreneur and creating a product, a service, I think of Mondo not as a product. You're not paying to see it. You're not paying for a ticket to see them. You're paying for the experience, and that's really what I'm about. And that's kind of something I pride myself in, over other artists, is selling an experience rather than, a product. So.
How do you see Mondo progressing within the next 5 years?
The next 5 years, like I said, I'm a junior, so things are a little up in the air with my career. Right now, professionally as a pilot, that's my kind of primary focus, but, Mondo's with there just as much as that, and there's nothing that says, you can't make two things work. So, probably, just short-term speaking, I want to continue to grow and develop Mondo. I want to keep building my production skills. I'm finally kind of finding some time and creating time to build those skills. And I also want to, make a little bit bigger impact here on, Purdue University's campus, specifically to, get EDM out there and just share the love of the music and like I said, the experience. I want to get this experience cultivated within Purdue and hopefully, leave here and let it continue to grow into something really beautiful, when you come back. So that's kind of my primary goal while I'm here, but, extended goal, I just want to keep growing and start playing out and some better, venues and